All right, Smacks, it's up to us to get the ball rolling. There we go, Charmer. I gave you one pun. I gave you the one. But Smacks, we're in for the first round of the lower bracket here. Elimination on the line for the team that does not win this best of 3. The tournament life continues for the team that wins it. And also, shout out, this is our first time ever casting not only Wild Rift, but from my memory, any game together. So this is exciting.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a while. This is a big moment for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've been on a couple of broadcasts together, mostly for League of Legends, but this is the first time actually getting the mic at the same time. So very exciting stuff. It's a pleasure as always, Kangas, as we jump right in. Have already removed Olaf from the pool. So I was excited to see if Sentinels would have that prepared to deal with that Nunu. They don't have that opportunity.
Now, I do want to clarify something. I said they might not ban the Nunu because they have champs that can counter it. Now, if ban away the Xin Zhao and maybe like a J4 as well, or even like a Grave, something like that, then maybe I could see Sentinels actually banning that away, but it's going to be the Senna instead. So now Sentinels have a choice. They have a decision to make. Do they take away California's most played champion, a jungler that really warps how Wild Rift is played from a team standpoint, and then risk the Xin Zhao getting banned away from them, which would be their big counter? They're going to leave it up. The Renekton, Ashe, and Varus are the bans from Sentinels.
Focusing very heavily on the Dragon lane, both of the premier marksmen on the utility side and oftentimes on the damage side as well removed, alongside that Senna on Dudu's side. So could mean that we just get pure hyper carries from that role from here on out. There isn't a whole lot of room for crowd control or scouting that these other champions have. The Camille ban locks in that Dudu are still focusing more on that jungle role. So Sheesh might just have to lock in his pick early on so it doesn't get stolen away.
Or they go for a champion that Michael Udall likes to play. Interestingly enough, typically Orianna is the higher priority for Sentinels. Again, talking about that combo play style that they like to go for. But Corki is the third most played behind Twisted Fate that's in that second spot. Still a very comfort pick for Michael Udall. I think it fits the meta right now. And do answer with Xayah and Nami.
Nami, the premier enchanter in this game. You have so much engaged threat with that tidal wave alongside the follow-up crowd control. Those bubbles have been super solid from a lot of our players. Oh my word, Kangas. We got a Riven right away. This is a blind Riven. MTS has had some incredible games on this champion. Even there was one that was so tragic. I remember watching it in the chat and everyone was like, oh, MTS was so close to fully carrying this game. Didn't quite manage it. We got creative picks across the board, Kangas.
Yeah.
I think it's a Jax jungle.
I think it's going to be a Jax jungle. We got the Darius locked in into that blind Riven, which could still be a jungle pick here.
That's jungle Riven.
Wow. Okay. So that means we get the Akali in the Baron lane, most likely, with the Gragas and the Corki in the Dragon lane, Ahri in the mid lane, and Riven jungle. We have seen Riven jungle rising in popularity in this event. Interesting to see Sentinels pull that out here.
Yeah, every single time that I get excited for a Sentinels pick, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to this lane. They just completely shifted on me. Yet even yesterday they did this where they locked in Olaf. I was so excited for Shishu's Olaf, and then they put it top lane instead. I was like, well, I think they're just doing this to spite me at this point. But as you said, Riven jungle, really strong, and it was popularized in NA, firstly by Tybe. He's been showing us some really solid performances on that.
If it's throwing you for a loop, you got to imagine it's probably throwing do for a loop as well. I think this is turning into one of Sentinel's, powers here in the draft phase, is the flexibility that they'll go for, as well as a level 1 start us off. You will spot them though, so it is an unsuccessful early invade, but they get a ward down so they can actually spot the jungle pathing now of California, who, according to our list, does not really play the Jax. I mean, no surprise as a jungler. Jax typically not known for that role, but my eyes are immediately going to California. How are you going to play this early jungle clear?
So this is a really interesting one. We know that for the jungle role, as long as you're playing a melee champion that has a lot of auto attack agency and can build AD, you can clear out the jungle very quickly. Because of the interaction with red buff and the cleave auto attacks, you can go for the AoE camps that in PC League of Legends you can't often go for. So as Jax with an auto attack reset, you shouldn't have too tricky of a time clearing out the jungle. It's the ganks that might end up being tricky, and you do have this counter pick to Riven. You can avoid the auto attack damage, but there's not a whole lot of agency after that counter strike is used.
Well, we're already seeing the group up in the mid lane here. California gets aggressive on a Sheesh. That's
word.
a lot of damage. The Ignite ticks down. And first blood for do off of the Jax gank. Hey, it's putting to work already.
I mean, I mentioned that the Counter-Strike is going to have to do all of the work for you, and it does. California getting the first blood just off the back of that one ability, but Flash the Charm, it's a trade kill right away. Rest picks that one up.
Yeah, the bot lane from Sentinels roam in. Bubble lands. The rest is still safe. Burn the Flash. Michael Udall also burned the Flash earlier in that lane. But they do trade the kills back, so Sentinels not out of this one yet, of course. They still want to fight in this early game. But already a lot of action. I like this start to a best-of-3. Tournament lives on the line. You might as well bring some aggression.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see the set plays that people tend to go for, like the mid lane 2v2 once the junglers hit level 3, but always some surprise factors. You have the extra mobility of Jax and the crowd control to follow. Not something that you typically prepare for. This Jax jungle pick is very unorthodox. We haven't seen it very often. The bottom lane, though, we has to flash out.
Yeah, Michael Udall was also roaming down for a lane gank, but Rest and Beginnings get aggressive ahead of time and just get the flash out of We Heal out of Lightning. That means we will have to reset. We'll see if that actually means anything, if Sentinels can maybe get a turret plate for this. It's still pretty early into the game. But because of Michael Udall going for that roam, actually missing out on a full wave mid.
The Ahri, you want to get that level 5 as soon as possible. This is one of those instances where Michael was really trying to make something work before he had Spirit Rush. Really difficult to do that, especially without the Flash, so didn't quite manage it. Of course, Sentinels has already chunked out the members of the do Dragon lane, so that adds on insult to injury. But Michael, now that he has the Spirit Rush, is likely going to start roaming once more.
Yeah, immediately pushes the wave and looks back to this Dragon lane. Really wants to capitalize, and now that there's no flash or heal down here, this makes a lot of sense. California's also looking for it, but now it's a 4v3 in favor of Sentinels. Good setup from Beginnings, and that is a kill for the Sentinels squad. Udall's looking for more, though. He rushes forward, doesn't have the charm anymore, and not find California. Even with Premonition destinying down into that Dragon lane, it's still a kill to Sentinels.
Yeah, nice stuff from Beginnings. The beautiful cask sets up that kill quite nicely, and even sets up another one if Lightning T didn't use the ultimate and the flash. So even more repercussions will come after that play. And I specifically like this on Beginnings because this is a champion that he pulled out against Cloud9 yesterday and didn't have that same mechanical prowess on it. He did sort of mess up a few of those barrels and ended up leaving Cloud9 members to safety. The Sentinels still have a lot of confidence in him. When he's feeling good on the champion, they still allow him to pick it. Those flubs yesterday are not lowering the morale of the team. That's something that I love to see from these guys who've been together the entire Summoner series.
But despite the play going in the favor of Sentinels bot lane, it's actually still gold lead for do. They start up the Dragon as well. We might get a team fight around here as the Baron laners are also grouping up. Even as I say that, actually Undercover decides to go back up towards the Baron lane. Everybody walks away from the Dragon. Nobody really wants to throw this, especially do, seeing that Rust does in fact have the package on Corki. It's oftentimes very tough to fight for those Dragons against that.
Corki package is going to be enough to make up for no ultimate on Michael or Sheesh, so they still have a ton of damage and they still have a ton of zone control, which is the most important thing when it comes to these objectives. So Sentinels get to take their Drake. Though, they don't really want to fight that one. They start up the Herald instead.
Sentinels are in. MTS looks for the fight. The Rift Herald secured, and now Sentinels are in trouble. Beginnings joined in. MTS over the Baron wall and finds a kill onto Wii. And the rest of Sentinels actually keep this play alive. Flash from MTS just to get out. Rest could be in trouble. Has to flash as well. Charm lands onto California, and Sentinels are out, but they did not stop that Herald from going down.
I like the package positioning from Rest, but again, there isn't a whole lot of damage coming through. Sheesh was still taking the Drake, and he didn't have the ultimate, and he didn't have the mobility to get all the way up the river, unlike Rest, who has that package, and Michael, who ended up using the Spirit Rush in the play, ends up on a 1-for-1 on the kills, and a 1-for-1 on the objectives, too, as Sentinels did pick that one up. No turrets were taken during that time, either. It seems like everybody on both teams really wanted a piece of the pie. They all made it to those fights. Sometimes we end up seeing while one team goes for Herald, the other just hits the turret, because that's exactly what Herald does, but everybody wanted to in on the action.
Yeah, it's important that you noted, though, that, yeah, Riven, the jungler for Sentinels, all the way on that Drake. So Sentinels, this was an ambitious fight, I think is the best way to put it. trying to stop that from going on with that package, but just not quite enough. But they still get that dragon. The gold lead is still only 1,000 different as of current. And yeah, that feels good for them, but now they need to worry about these dragons stacking from the side of Sentinels, because if Sentinels can keep those coming in, that will give them the combat sets that they need to hang with Do in the mid game.
I didn't notice just how far the shuriken flip went for MTS. He started at the bottom side of the river and went all the way over the pit wall. So he's just all around the world with that one. The Globetrotter on Akali as we ends up getting taken out. In the dragon lane, you can see Sentinels are trying to push in this wave, bringing a bunch of members to combat that, but they don't have their members outside of the base quite yet. Sheesh gets a cut off.
Hit by the gold card, the bubble used as well, so Sheesh says, nope, I'm not finding the angle that I was hoping for. It was a nice attempt from Sentinels to go for a play, but while that was happening, MTS also pushing in on the top lane, so Baron priority here. The next dragon will be spawning in about 2 minutes' time, so it really just comes down to catching waves at this point in time, waiting for these next objectives to spawn, unless you can find a pick. And, I mean, Sentinels are looking for it. Look at all these wards in that bottom jungle that they have aggressively, but honestly answered by Dude's own ward, so I don't think that we're actually going to see anybody get picked anytime soon.
You know, which is a shame for Sentinels because their composition tends to lean that direction. When you lock in Ahri, you really do want to have a lot of jungle skirmishes in the 2v2 with Riven. It's not as possible as something like a Xin Zhao or a Lee Sin that has a lot of crowd control and single target burst. Riven is more on the AoE front. Not that she can't do that, but you're seeing, as a result of this sort of mismatch, hasn't come to fruition quite yet. Not that they have to
Smacks, I got a couple solo queue experiences that would beg to differ. Riven can do a lot of single target damage as well, but no, you're right. The purpose of the Riven is not necessarily to find those picks, but the Ahri, there's a stat I came up with yesterday, charms per minute. We haven't seen that much action from Michael Udall so far, and the Ahri does kind of fall off as the game goes. But catching us up to current, Do are actually looking for a dive in this Baron lane, looking at MTS. The Akali player, doesn't get hit by the root. Lightning T missing the feather recall, but still doesn't matter. Do have achieved their mission. They pushed away the Akali, they get the turret.
Ooh. Speaking of turrets, Sentinels are going for one in the mid lane. They are avoided by the redemption usage right there alongside the Destiny. They don't really want to go for much else. Grouping up now to counteract wherever that teleport could possibly land, but Premonition chooses not to use it, sticking around in mid. Is to push in this one encounter. Getting enough structure up in that Baron lane for Do is quite nice. That extra gold going into their pockets is really solid. They get to use that Rift Herald. Now they're coming on down to the Drake.
And look at the resets from Sentinels. Rest is not going to be with the team. So, yeah, Dragon secured here by Do. And now they look for a fight afterwards. Michael Udall lands the charm. California is not with the rest of the team. Has to flash the wall. Follow-up from Sentinels. They find the pick at the end of the objective take. They do get the dragon, but they do lose a member for it.
No wave here either. They got to clear this as soon as possible. The flash charm onto one. Undercover Snail is soon to follow as well. Burned down to a crisp by the package. Rest with a double kill.
I think Mike Udall heard my criticism. He's like, you want charms per minute? How about a flash charm right now? Finds a critical pick, and Undercover was not ready for that either. So 2 more picks for Sentinels. Let's see if they can turn this into a turret, because they're keeping 2 members there. That's the big objective. If they can start breaking these structures, they already took the Dragon Lane turret. They will get this mid lane turret as well. Nice swing for Sentinels, because they were down about 1,000 gold up until that point.
Those are the kind of plays that you have to go for on Ahri. When your team isn't built to go for picks, but you're still playing this champion, you have to make them for yourself. It's kind of like when you're locking in Yasuo, you don't have any knockups on your team. You've got that tornado for a reason. You better use it wisely, and that's exactly what Michael Udall does right there. 2 clean picks for Sentinels on a team that's really designed to do this. As we take another look at this Drake fight, you see that Michael is able to cut off California quite well, and then this follow-up from MTS is really solid. Again, he's just floating around the rift with such ease, the globetrotter that he is, and we get to see this flash play once more.
But catching up to, let's see the flash play. Beautiful. Nicely done there. But actually on the live screen, we saw a Baron taken away by Do. Uncontested by Sentinels. I don't know if they just didn't spot it out, or if somebody got picked ahead of time, because I was watching the replay package there. But regardless, that's a big buff for Do to grab.
It doesn't look like they got any kills, so it just seems like they found a timer where Sentinels were all on a reset, and Sentinels just did not come back in time. Really nice play from Do. They don't have any turrets taken with it quite yet, as they only just took that buff, but even still, it's a ton of gold going over to them, and they can start now.
That's one of those Barons where, like, I assumed the call was, all right, we back off if they answer, but if they don't, we get it. And now, potential pick in that Dragon lane. Michael Udall off the Spirit Rush, gets away. But they're looking for plays now. With this Baron buff, if they get picks, they can get a lot of structures for it.
Their team can go for picks with things like that Twisted Fate ultimate, but I mean, really, they can even go for the 5v5 team fights. They're not behind in this game by any means. They're feeling completely okay, and they have a lot more AoE damage, especially when Rest doesn't have his package up quite yet. So when you have that timer as well, something like a Xayah and a Darius can really just spread the love of the damage throughout.
Oh, speaking of spreading the love, that charm lands again from Michael Udall. But this time around, Premonition gets out. Now the re-engage comes in from Do. They're looking for it, but it's a split fight. Sentinels try and fight their way back to the mid turret. They land it. And Michael Udall looking for even more charms. Uses the flash preemptively. And a little spooked by how many members of Do were there. And no one goes down on either side, but you can tell they're looking for these scraps. Both of these teams want to find this big avenue back into the game.
Unfortunately, that was another bummer there for Beginnings, as he bumped the enemy in the other direction on the explosive cask. It's a really difficult ability, to his credit. This is not an ability that's very easy to master. But in those moments where you are landing all of your damage on Michael Udall's Ahri, you really do need to get those barrels sorted and bring the enemies over to where all of your damage dealers are. Sentinels are more focused on this next fight, though. They want to shake it off. They want to get that next barrel. It's always about the next one. You want to go for the next pick and the next pick after that. This one, most important, I should say, because this is a Mountain Dragon.
It's a Mountain Dragon, and package is up on Rest. Thank you, observers, for highlighting that. And Rest is also on the flank here with Sheesh. Do need to be very careful. They don't have Darius with them yet. They actually go for the engage themselves. Beginnings, that was a nice barrel. Getting California away from the rest of the team. Package comes through, but California is back. Reposition. Do with a beautiful team fight here. They're staying together. They're staying grouped up and not letting Sentinels pick them off one by one. They will claim 3 kills and the Dragon.
And the bleed was enough to kill Rest on the back end of that one, too. He was really close to surviving, but Undercover Snail on the last tick made it work. 3 kills for 0 and the Drake, and just in time for Baron as well. Beginnings did just switch over to the teleport, so Sentinels they know that they have to put up a fight for this objective. They can't let another one of these go uncontested, but their numbers are dwindling here. Yeah, they don't have Spirit Rush.
Yeah, Russ and MTS are both down. They're getting their teleports. They know they have to get into this fight, so we will get another 5v5 here. The bubble, mistimed. If MTS got hit by that, probably dead. But honestly, I think this is fine. You've done your work. You got to catch these side waves. You convince MTS and Rest to take TP on their enchanted boots, and you can just back off the Baron so you don't lose too much for that kind of play.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to switch over to the teleport as well, it makes the enemy team use a lot of gold. Not only the recall timer and the teleport timer, but they had to sell their boots and go for different
but if they can get something... the explosive cast misses from Beginnings again. It's so hard to hit those. They're so high impact if you get the right one, but it's a difficult ability to land on Wild Rift. I think Beginnings is realizing that here. So at least Sentinels do get that turret, but man, Smacks, I want to bring us back to expectations going into this event. Sentinels took 2nd place in the 3rd majors. I was crediting a lot of their first round loss to, okay, it's Cloud9, it's a tough opponent, but now they're down 4,000 gold to Do, who qualified through the last chance qualifiers. Definitely, in my opinion, the underdogs coming into this match. And credit to Do. They were playing very well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's really important for them too, because just yesterday they had the unfortunate bout of having to play against Tribe in the first round, and that was 100% of their games yesterday were against Tribe, and they didn't have their full lineup quite yet. Their solo laners weren't ready and available. They had to use subs for both. So the fact that they're all here today, they're all making a statement now against Sentinels is so huge for them as they stack up for this Baron. They know that they're stronger at this stage of the game. They know that they can go for those team fights. They're not bothering with any side lanes, and they don't really need to either.
Yeah,
look at that dragon lane.
This time the lanes are in their favor. Even the Baron lane will push in with the way that they've stacked it. So I like this setup from do much more for these Barons. MTS will answer this dragon lane push. It does have the teleport now, so could look to join in for an eventual Baron fight. But do they're really controlling the pace of the game. They get to decide, okay, when do we want to start Baron? When this next dragon comes up, how do we want to approach it? Premonition throwing out the Destiny, looking for a pick there and getting Flash out of rest. That's a pretty decent cooldown here. That should not be up by the time the dragon spawns, but Lightning T!
Oh! This is really solid engage from beginnings. He uses the barrel and the body slam to perfection, but now he's on the run from California as the rest of Sentinels are ravaging them. Yes, you lose your support, but he already did his job. He split up the fight. He had a genius engage, and now it's Sentinels who are on the Baron.
Oh, what a turnaround play from Sentinels. They actually find it. They find the engage. They find the 80 carry too far forward, and it was Beginnings throwing his body literally at the opposition. Now California, the last member alive, might be caught out here. Sheesh, and Mikey Udall chasing him down. The charm goes wide. California trying to take this fight 1v3. I don't think you get these, though. And a killing spree for Mikey Udall. Valiant effort from California, but that's an ace for Sentinels.
Yeah, you gotta kill the enemy jungler, but now everyone is spawning from do in the next few seconds. If they can switch over to teleports, then they might be able to make it to this one as well. It doesn't really look like they're gonna try, though. There is a redemption that Michael Udall is gonna have to be wary of.
Sentinels are low. Beginnings and Rest are gonna teleport themselves. They both took it as well. This should be Baron going over. All right. Okay. No answer from do. What a play from Sentinels. Again, it all goes back to Beginnings getting that initial pick there onto Lightning T. Catching that Xayah was huge for Sentinels and really allowed them to get back into this entire game.
That's exactly what I was talking about the Gragas. Yeah, you messed up those few in a row, but it's always about the next one. It's always about what you can do in the next play, and Beginnings is not stopping to look back about what could have possibly happened in those previous engages, what could have possibly happened in those previous picks. He's always looking for the next possible moment to snap. It's exactly what it does here. It's going to need to look to do it again, but
MTS tries to get damage onto Lightning T, but now caught by Undercover Snail. It's away. High mobility on this Akali, but finally goes down. Rest does not find the package to interrupt that pick. Mikey Udall looks for the charm, misses. Gold card response. The flash pull from Undercover Snail gets double subs out of his opponents. Do. That's a big pick onto MTS. Now a 5v4 fight for the soul for Infernal.
Sheesh still has Smite. He's going to need to look for a steal here. This is not an objective that you can easily give up and still have hopes of winning the game. Half HP now.
Mikey Udall is trying to go for a flank here. Just cause some headaches for do. Sentinels have pushed them off the dragon for now, but Mikey Udall's down. Beginnings and Sheesh are half health, so they try and run back to the mid lane, and Undercover Snail, he's just going to play bodyguard, play gatekeeper here. Play bouncer, saying you cannot get into this club, everybody. This is our Dragon Soul. There we go. It's picked up. And now Beginnings even goes down because Premonition catches him out. Yeah, Baron is still on the table for Sentinels, but it's not going to feel good playing into this Infernal Soul.
I mean, you can see the damage increase in action right there. Beginnings was shrugging off all of that. And then, boom, the Elder Infernal is taken instantly one-shot by Premonition's Twisted Fate. This is a gigantic bonus to the damage of do. They're not going to be losing a fight anytime soon unless you find another miracle pick, which we have seen Michael Udall go for. He has found them out in this game at least a couple of times. This is where it comes down to the nitty-gritty, though. He has to be so flawless in execution. Otherwise, this is just going to be a game one for do.
I said it going into the series, I consider Sentinels more of a cerebral team. If they can find the plan, if they can set up what they want to do, they still have a chance, but it's going to come down to getting the right vision control, getting Michael Udall into that position where they can land the charm, and then have the team follow up, because Those are Guardian Angels on Lightning T and on California. You don't
Yeah.
have these, surefire picks anymore because the rest of Do can now answer. As, speaking of, they're starting the siege. All the outer turrets are down. That's a lot of damage from one single ability.
He crit the auto attack there with the 25%. Instantly have 40% HP for rest. That does not feel great. Destiny Pop teleporting into the Dragon Lane, another gold card, but I believe it went into the turret. So they're just trying to siege down more of these structures, more gold going over and opening up the map. Yeah, those are not going to stay up for very long.
This build for TF can take turrets lightning quick. And now that's all outer turrets down. It's only the inhibitor turrets left here, but they're playing patiently. They will reset, spend their gold. 6k in the lead for this Baron fight. It's just spawned. Sentinels, they got to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this play, because if they lose this Baron, that will be GG 9 times out of 10. So if they're looking for the mirror play, it's going to be coming in here.
Yeah. Corki package picked up. Rest is barreling down that mid lane. He needs to get in range for this play. All right, we're here.
We're here.
This one,
we're ready for it.
This one
Take
aligned.
a deep breath, everybody. This is it. This is what it comes down to. Oh, now they know that there's an Ahri in that bush. There was also a ward there, so I guess they knew regardless. But Sentinels, they need to find the avenue, the angle into the fight. They're going through the mid lane. Sheesh gets caught! Not expecting the enemy death brush. Guardian Angel pop, maybe can get back over the wall. Flashes, jumps, does not get him out as California will follow immediately up. That's a nice Nami ultimate. Beginnings cannot save the play. Double kill for Wii. Why not? Give the support some kills. Undercover Snail will try and chase down Mike Udall, the last remaining member here on Sentinels. And they'll find it. 5-for-0 ace. Do came to play in the elimination round. They will go up 1-0 against Sentinels.
The Infernal Elder makes those exchanges and those team fights just so trivial with how much extra damage you get. This just shreds every single member back to back, but you can't do that as easily without a Nami wave like that, man. That Wii ultimate, chef's kiss. Beautiful.
And you can see the gold graph when Sentinels started to come back. They were mounting that comeback after that Baron take, but they never even got gold back in their favor. Do just held on. They were actually the team finding picks kind of equally as much as Sentinels were, despite the compositional differences.
That's the beauty of Twisted Fate. You're really solid in those team fights because you have all that spread apart damage. You can go for the red card as well, spread all of that through the entire team. But then when you pop Destiny, you become an assassin in your own right. You got that gold card dealing 60% of somebody's HP if you crit it. I mean, look at his damage chart right there. Most of the entire game. That's crazy.
Gotta be like the highest damage I think I've ever seen from a Twisted Fate compared to like a Xayah. Like usually you look at the Xayah or the core, those are gonna be killers in that game, right? Nah. It's premonition. I believe in the words of Rafa, the guy's a psychopath. He'll play anything in any role, in any style, and just gets aggressive, goes nuts, goes ham. So good showing from Do. What more can you say? They qualified through last chance qualifiers. We have seen probably the least of this team compared to any other team in this entire event. And they're up 1-0 against Sentinels, who got second place in that third major. That's an impressive showing right there.
It absolutely is. And for Sentinels, they're now on the brink of being eliminated without taking a single game in the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, they lost 0-2 against Cloud9. They are now on match point, facing match point, I should say, against Do. If they go 0-4, I don't think anybody that's been watching Wilder Summoner Series throughout the entire 3 months could have possibly predicted that. They have been ramping up so smoothly, so nicely, and their team communication has been top-notch the entire way through. The mechanics have been building up, have been trying out new strategies. But, I mean, who needs new strategies when you're playing Do? You are the new strategy.
Exactly.
You are the new team.
Like, we were worried about the wrong jungler coming in here. We were like, okay, Nunu's going to be high priority. Oh, wait, Sentinels left it up. All right, let's see what a Nunu looks like in professional play. Jax jungle. All right, I guess we're pulling it out here. I mean, I think that Sentinels now have to go back to the drawing board. They got to start from scratch of, okay, what is our plan of attack for pick and ban against this team that, again, not a lot of scouting options to figure out what they like to play. And also, they pull out just wacky stuff like this.
Yeah. first blood for the Jacks too. Like, it's not just this pick came and then everything else fell into place and is just kind of there, not doing anything. No, California made this pick work for himself. He made all these jungle plays happen. He counteracted the plays that the Riven was going for and the other marksmen on this squad. Counter-Strike is feeling unbeatable as when you're in the late game and you're playing Rest, you're playing this Corki. Maybe this is why Corki didn't do as much damage as Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate didn't have to deal with the auto attacks just bouncing off of these champions.
True, yeah. I mean, that Jax was tough to kill, man. I mean, they got him. Sentinels, like, they had a couple of plays. I don't want to count them out by any means or make you think that this was an entirely do favored game, because this play, for example, that we're just looking at right now, there were pick tools, there were setups for Sentinels, and then they capitalized on it with Baron takes, things like that. But it just, at the end of the day, some of the later game plays weren't going in their favor. They weren't able to find those at the moments that really counted.
When you're winning these fights so well on the side of do, and you're getting all this damage out, and you're surviving a lot of these picks as well, as you can see right here, they're able to kite this out. In those moments, it's hard to credit the support, but I'm going to do it anyway, because if everything is going right and nobody's dying and you're playing an enchanter, then you are doing your job immaculately. And it's not just that. The tidal waves were hitting so many people every single time. Got a lot of credit to Wii on this Nami. It's not the most flashy champion, but it is one of the most consistent that you can go for. And I think the support play is another thing. When you're up against Gragas and in beginnings isn't finding a lot of that same consistency, it's completely okay to be playing Nami. You're not going to miss a tidal wave, right? You're not going to send Emmy into the other side. You're going to knock him up, and it's going to be really solid.
It's also comfort. So it goes back to what do like to play. They're playing some wacky stuff like the Jax coming out here, things that we don't know them for. But when you look at their AD carry and support, Lightning T, most played champion throughout the last chance qualifiers, Xayah. Look at Wii's most played champion, Nami. Outside of Nami, it's Janna and Lulu. So Wii is a big enchanter player, loves this Nami pick in particular. So I like that was the first two picks locked in as well for do. They said, okay, get comfort for the dragon lane, so at least we have something to fall back on in case, our flex picks, our, wacky approach to the Jax jungle doesn't work out. We can still fall back on it. They didn't necessarily need to, but you're right. We did have a fantastic game number one on that Nami. And I don't want to disparage beginnings either, because there were a couple big Gragas plays that kept Sentinels in that game as well. But you're right. The consistency was really the part about the Gragas play from game one.
Yeah, It's important to mention that, like, do are trying a lot of different champions in their games. I believe Premonition, he had some for fun games, but I think he has one of the highest champion pools of anyone, the highest numbers of champions that he's played. So you can't really
consider
do that.
That's in one event. That's only in the last chance qualifiers too. It's crazy.
Really cool stuff. And you can't have all this crazy stuff happening on top. It's so flash and everything without building up the foundation and building up a proper stage to make it work. Noon and Willa, that's two champions in one. You got to make a really big stage for that one. So do have done that very well. And I think a lot of that is because of this Dragon Lane.
Well, we're into pick and ban for game number 2. Let's see what Sentinels have cooked up for us. How they're going to change their pick and ban and their approach to the game, because they're still on blue side. They still get that first pick priority, and do will still get that counter pick from the red side. So far, Sentinels, they still just ban away the Renekton. They haven't adapted to like the Jax ban, Ahri ban, anything like that, or the Corki. Sorry, the Darius ban is the one that I was looking for there. But the Olaf banned away by do. Same plan for them so far. I mean, honestly, I don't think that they'll need to adapt too much.
So something that I want to remember about the major that Sentinels did take second place in is that they were the team that was really innovating with this Ashe pick. And now that they've banned it, this is now 4 games in a row that they are going to be playing where they haven't gotten their hands on this one at all, where they have looked like, in my opinion, the best version of themselves when they are playing this, when Rest is given the possibility of going for so many picks on this one. The fact that they're banning it on this blue side shows us that they're not super willing to pick it first pick, but it also shows us that they fear that they won't get it on their side either. So it's definitely a head scratcher for me, because I really like it when they play this, but this is 4 games in a row, losing the first 3 that they're not getting it.
If you're not willing to blue one it, you're right. That means that they're worried that do will grab it in their next rotation. But looking at the champ pool from Lightning T, Xayah, Akshan, interestingly enough, and then Varus. Yeah. So I feel like the Varus ban would make sense to me. The Ashe ban a little less so. But let's see what their final ban is. Last time it was the Varus. They were trying to deny that from Lightning T as well. I still think the Varus is potentially blue oneable if you want.
Ooh.
Rakan ban. I mean, not necessarily something prioritized in Wii's champ pools. This is an interesting adaptation from Sentinels.
Absolutely is. You'd think that they would ban the Nami instead. Not going to go for that one, though. Yeah, it's still more of a head scratcher for me for Sentinels. Maybe they've got the Nami first pick that's coming for them. Maybe that's what the direction is. They don't want to give over the second pick, perhaps, for Wii. But if that's not the case, then I feel like the Nami ban would have been more solid. Now, you said something that caught my ear here, Kangas. You said that the Akshan for Lightning T is interesting. He's very good at that champion. When he gets this champion, he deals so much damage. It is absolutely ridiculous. So I would love to see an Akshan here. That would be very exciting.
All right, so let's hope the Sentinels grab Xayah then. You know, put rest on Xayah, get Lightning T off of that pick, then maybe they'll go back to the Akshan. But that's a big question, is what do Sentinels lock in for their first pick? Because Camille is yet again taken off the table here by do. Right back to that Corki. So still, the mid lane priority here from Sentinels, blind picking that one. Lulu's on the table. I mean, do could just run it back. They could go back to Xayah Lulu right here.
Yeah, it'd be the Nami, but yeah, they didn't remove that one at all. I mean, it's interesting because we've been talking about this a lot, and they don't have that same priority on it on Sentinel's side, but I really do feel like that champion is just so strong. And look at this, they're going to get the Varus as well, because that one wasn't banned away. Sentinels didn't first pick that either. Arguably, this could be an even stronger lane than what we just saw out of the Dragon laners for Lightning T and Wii.
Exactly. Varus can set up the Nami incredibly well. Nami can also set up the Varus. They can chain their CC together, especially once they hit that level 5. And yeah, Varus, big lane bully, but Sentinels also running back the draft. They go back to the Gragas and the Riven.
Exactly the same 3 champions in the same order for Sentinels. They would be picking up the Akali and the Ahri once more if they want to completely run it back. Do are changing up a few things, though. They're going for the Jarvan instead of Jax, a more standard ganking jungler this time around. Perhaps this is to combat the Varus coming through, because Varus is a lot more pick-oriented, whereas Jax and the Xayah together make a more combined force in a team fight. This Varus and Jarvan are more focused on killing one person at a time, and then going for the team fight spread with Cataclysm and Chains of Corruption.
Exactly. Can also get online a little bit earlier, but the answer from Sentinels here, they have to blind pick their mid lane because do are saving their counter pick till the very end. It'll be Fiora in the Baron lane, TF in the mid lane, Corki and Gragas in that Dragon lane with, again, the Riven in the jungle here. So do answer that with the Akali pick, presumably on Premonition in the mid lane.
The Akali here for Premonition, he is one of the strongest assassin players that we have. Even going for that Zed that we saw in that highlight reel, and the Yasuo is in the highlight reel. Excuse me, we saw Zed as his most.
Zed's the most
champion.
played, which is crazy to think about.
Really fun stuff. But this time going for the Akali, I think that makes a lot of sense. You got a lot of physical damage on this team, so you need some magic. But his assassin play is no joke. This is one of the best assassin players that we have, outside of, a few of our other plans, like the Truth and Molly Katarinas come to mind. But those are just the specific champion usually.
Well, here we are, Smacks. Game 2 between Sentinels and do in the lower bracket. And do are up 1 game. They're on match point to continue their tournament run here, and Sentinels 1 loss away from ending their entire summer season. You gotta win 2 in a row if they want to keep up right now. Let's see how they intend to do it. Already they went for the mid lane push here. Everybody grouping up, trying to get priority there. Get that little bit of XP so you can hit levels before your opponent. Sheesh is spotted on the jungle clear. A lot of the early game from both these teams is all about who gets the wards down and who can spot where the enemy jungler is going.
Those junglers going to start about the same every single time. I'd imagine the red buff, at least, is that first camp for everybody. It's what they decide to do after that that can sometimes change. Both of them trying to hit level 2 on this wave and going for another skirmish here. Could see some more action. I can't imagine that the Jarvan deals as much damage as Jax if you hit the Counter-Strike, but I'm looking forward to seeing if California can prove me wrong here.
As the junglers are also hanging out in that mid lane scene. I like what the trend that we've actually seen on this meta right now. It's junglers going for the clears and then walking into the mid lane to hit level 3 together, and then basically just handshake who's going to go for which scuttle. Like, okay, neither of our mid laners landed any CC or any burst damage so that we can actually follow up. All right, I'll head bot, you head top. We'll trade there, but the bot lane duo from Do heavily pushing out Rest here. Does still have flash and heal. Could be in trouble, as also a play from Sentinels. They're looking for the dive top lane.
And going for some camps along the way, too. This provides two things. One, you get to steal away Krugs, and also you get to pressure off this Darius, which otherwise would have a pretty solid lane phase. Here comes the dive.
Premonition's there too. Undercover Snail has to flash back towards the turret. Still has the barrier, and they will go for the dive. Can Sheesh get the damage? Premonition gets it first. Nicely done from Do's mid laner. First blood to Do. It is traded to Sentinels.
Yeah, Darius may be a solid laner that you want to attack, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to. He has so much sustain with the Decimate and then that barrier on top of it. He gets to survive all throughout until the very last moment, the bitter end. Gives his mid laner enough time to pick up that first blood, so Premonition gets to walk back to lane eventually with a ton of extra gold, but he's not interested in that quite yet.
Yeah, stays up in that Baron lane to catch this wave and also get flash out of MTS. Now we'll go for the reset. Undercover Snail actually started pathing up there too, but now looks like he's going to go and catch this midway. But let's take another look at the replay here. Premonition just getting Michael Udall barely before.
I really like the limit knowledge of Undercover Snail on this Darius. You can see exactly how much damage he knows he can take before he needs to pop barrier. And maybe that's just because he didn't think he was going to survive for that long, and then once he does, he's like, oh, wait, I might live. I got to pop my shield. But nonetheless, he gets all that healing down, and while it does surprise us, maybe him as well, it helps that first blood out. And now we get to see the return to the lane finally for Premonition. He is going for the component build that we tend to see from Akali. You get the extra magic penetration before you go for that first item, usually Lich Bane.
And already 1,000 gold up over Undercover Snail. Had some trouble CSing under turret there, so... And also lost a full wave, I believe, because a little slower on the rotation. It felt like Premonition was ready for the play. Undercover Snail maybe wasn't ready for the lane swap, but either way, it's Premonition that comes out on top here. 3,400 gold already on this Akali. Pretty much off to the races here and ready to contest for these objectives. Going for another reset here. 5 seconds, and then we get the Herald and the Dragon spawn. Sheesh is already pinging the Herald. It looks like that's the angle the Sentinels want to take.
And despite the extra gold going over to Premonition, the Rod of Ages rush here for Michael Udall is perfectly where he wants to be. And now with the Destiny, he can scout out which objective they're going for. There's redemption very early from Wii, but it's not going to stop the teleport.
Dragon's already taken, but maybe Sentinels can take the 5v4 afterwards. Premonition's got the smoke screen and gets out. Yeah, nicely done from Do. They're just faster on the play. Sentinels, they were pinging the Rift Herald. They saw the dragon started, and then they say, no, okay, let's contest the dragon rather than trading objectives. But at the end of the day, they don't stop the dragon, and now we get a contest for the Herald.
Yeah, they don't stop the dragon, they don't go for a fight, they don't get any kills here, and now they're going for the really risky move of doing Herald when everyone is available for Do. They don't have Varus ult anymore, but all the other ones are still up and ready to go. Maybe just have to time out the Corki package, and then you can go for something.
Save Premonition's ult. Akali also doesn't have an ultimate available for this fight. Undercover Snail flashing forward. Takes a lot of damage. That's a good package from Rest. Sentinels, they're taking the fight, and they're looking for the damage onto Lightning, who has no frontline peeling for the poor Varus. Gold card onto Premonition. Still takes it forward as Sentinels, they're winning out on this fight. It was a split one, but Michael Udall will flash over the wall, looking for Premonition.
No way.
Win the gold card. There it is. Premonition is still alive. Trying to back here. Rest catches him out. That's a lot of burst damage from Premonition. One more auto. Ooh, cannot find it. That was close, but Sentinels coming out on top.
Ridiculously close there for Premonition. And just as you said, I didn't notice, but he didn't have his ultimate that entire time. So he was doing that all without an extra ability. So we get another look at this one. You can see just how well he's able to play bodyguard for this, pushing Beginnings and Michael off of the initial play. That doesn't stop Sentinels from trying this one all the same. Really solid first ability there from Rest alongside the package, makes the setup really easy. They get the smite secure as well from Sheesh, and then after this, it's a lot easier for Beginnings to play bodyguard up here, and for them to find off all of these stragglers. A favorable play for Sentinels all throughout. They have this Rift Herald too, so they can go for a turret earlier, maybe even get that first turret. We mentioned in the previous game that usually you end up seeing a turret traded for Rift Herald. Not the case at all in this one, so Sentinels have that advantage.
I call those kinds of plays the horse race blinders, where everybody from do is looking one direction. They forget that they got to peel for the AD carry, but now going for the dive under the dragon lane successfully. Adu, Michael Udall is feeling the pain.
Through barrier too, you can see just how much damage this Akali build provides, even without that first item completed quite yet. Magic penetration is disgusting, and with that play too, they get first turret. They don't even have to worry about that Rift Herald. Sentinels don't pop it. They know that they already missed out on that objective I was hyping them up to get potentially, so you have to just trade one for one. That gold is now completely dead, even thanks to that extra bonus that do got for themselves. They can just go right on back, and they have to worry about the Rift Herald coming eventually.
Watch out, California.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. It doesn't look like Beginnings and Rest want to collapse. Michael Udall does. Destiny's forward, but it's too late. Beginnings, nice explosive cast. Premonition thrown back into the team, but as that smoke screen and disengages. Ooh. If Beginnings and Rest were faster on that, I mean, you could tell Sheesh was trying to chase down California. If the Gragas and the Corki just collapse onto him, I think that's a dead J4, so maybe split calls from Sentinels here.
Now you can very easily see what could have been if Sentinels had gone for it, but regardless of that one, get out. With a lot more than they could have bargained for. I feel like they're feeling pretty solid in this one. They've got that first Drake bumping up their damage just a tad. Maybe even look for another one as well. These ultimates, while they might have to wait just a tad before getting the Nami ultimate, they won't have to worry about Michael Udall's Destiny, so that reposition won't be there at all.
Premonition's got to get this kill quick. There's a lot of people coming from Sentinels here. Oh, misses the shuriken flip. So the perfect execution. 5-point strike will find it. Traded immediately back by Sheesh, but yeah, okay. Yeah, Premonition, known for his assassin gameplay if you missed it. And I think we're getting an insight into why.
Michael Udall really wise to play throughout the minion wave there. It gets to have a bodyguard to avoid that, as Sheesh is now under assailant. In the Cataclysm, California completely pushes him out of the entire fight. Meanwhile, in the river, Lightning T and We are fending for themselves with that tidal wave. They get to kill one member. As Undercover Snail makes his debut. MTS got to run away as California is still on a solo mission in the bottom side of this team
MTS
fight.
is shredding this
fight.
fight.
Escape. There's so much damage that MTS will provide, as you mentioned, Kangas. Taking one out. Undercover Snail has the passive. He's flashing forward. Noxing Guillotine onto another. They clean up
MTS
one more.
alone.
MTS, you've got to make this work. The 1v2. Riposte doesn't land, but his lunge sure does. He's still alive and looking for another one. Apprehend onto him. Barrier makes him survive. Undercover Snail just barely makes it out with that shutdown, though.
So close right there. My goodness. I thought MTS was just going to run through that this entire time. It's been a free lane for the Fiora. Undercover Snail has not managed to stem the bleeding from that Fiora lane. So that's the fight that you look for as Fiora. If you're not going to split push, you want to find these fights where you're fighting 1-2 members at a time. And MTS just doesn't quite have the mobility. Can't get on members long enough. And now they're back on the map. They're going for this dragon. This will be their second of the game. Rest throwing some rockets over the wall, but cannot find the steal. And there's another Herald spawning here. Actually, no, that's the Baron spawning. We're already at that point in the game here. Have found another very comfortable position in game 2.
Yeah, they really have. 2 Drakes now. It's a ton of extra power that is sometimes hard to see. It's not like a mountain dragon where you can always see that shield that it's providing to you. These ones are more silent with their bonuses. Oh, man.
My goodness.
Premonition is so scary. He's like a shark in the water. Oh, no.
I mean, I'm not even 100% confident he wins that against a Fiora, but MTS is not confident either. So he decides to back up. And that's just the fear that Premonition puts into gamers. This guy. Yeah, I think living up to the hype so far.
Yeah.
It ain't no Teemo gameplay, but I'll still take it for right now. And honestly, I'm starting to think that based on the current game state, do will be favored here for this Baron take. If they can get their team together, they still have a power window. The later the game goes, the more we'll see the Fiora and the Corki start to scale. So maybe you can argue that Sentinels have the late game in their favor, but I'm liking what we're seeing from do.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that you're acknowledging this means that very likely Sentinels knows this as well, and this is their last chance. They have gone 0-3 so far, just based on the game score. This is one more loss away from them being completely eliminated from the NA Wild Rift
A lot of
scene,
pressure.
at least for now. Gotta keep going if you're on Sentinel's squad. You want to keep that hope alive in this tournament. And it's going to have to come from these plays as they're looking for another one. Chains of Corruption.
Yeah.
So much damage into the Gragas.
I mean, it sucks that Sentinels couldn't find the play, but that's what they have to go for. They had Teleport on MTS. They have Destiny on Michael Udall. Look for isolated members from do and pull the trigger when you find them. Unfortunately, they don't find the actual target in that attempt. And now Dive comes through from California, misses rest, flashes the wall, says, nope, no one saw that. Pretend it didn't happen. We're not going to commit to the dive. We'll instead get vision around this Baron, but do have full control of this area.
It's one of those moments where the rest of do are like, what are you doing, man? Flash down! Can't follow. That's under a turret. So they wisely do that.
Beginnings. This is the play. These are the big ones. He doesn't have the explosive cast, but he might not need it. Sheesh is there. Nice pick from Sentinels. But California bringing the pain train right on back. Rest will get a double kill. It's a 2-for-1 trade. That's favoring Sentinels.
Yeah, Premonition was trying to enter the fight, but he sent his Shuriken flip the wrong way, so it ended up pushing him right back to where he had flashed from. Solid picks from Sentinels. They get both of the members of that Dragon Lane. No tidal wave even came out. That's just how fast they were able to execute on that one. This is just how fast these plays can come through from Sentinels if they can align on the play, if they can get these engages off. We know that they have been able to all throughout Summoner Series. We know this is a team that has it in them, but they have to keep showing it to us time and time again right here. Gonna be another turret. That's gonna help out a lot.
Very close game state in this game number 2 here. Could still go either way. Sentinels, after that turret take, they're actually coming ahead with a slight gold lead. They have the side lane plays with this Fiora. Not many people can actually answer the Fiora. And even if you do, there's a TF ult coming your way as well. I think Sentinels going to this game plan, playing the map rather than the team fight, this is how you're going to win this game. Utilize this Fiora pick. Utilize MTS to be your primary win condition.
I mentioned how visible the bonus of the Mountain Dragon is, and that's going to be the next objective on the table, outside of a weird Baron sneak, but we'll get to that when we get to it, I suppose. Stacking up right here. Trying to get some mid lane priority beforehand. They've got this wave pushing in. You gotta be worried about the mobility of Riven in that spot.
Ooh, beginnings. Looking for something down here in the river. Sentinels have set up around the dragon. Might be looking for a pick, but it will be a 4v5. Teleport's available for MTS, but again, I think if you're Sentinels, just poke them. Just try and, be annoying more than anything. But Undercover Snail says, no, we're fighting! Flash with the pullback. Premonition's in there as well. Flank from Sheesh, that's pretty big! The Riven stuns, the Riven damage! MTS is teleported in as well. Premonition says, I'm getting out of this one. Lightning has to flash. MTS finds it. This Fiora is huge right now! As the rest of Sentinels have now rejoined in on the fight. I can't believe they're doing it! They're actually winning a 5v5, but Undercover Snail still has the damage. Rocket belts away, doesn't hit the damage onto MTS, and Michael Udall has
the healing!
The healing from Undercover Snail, pulling back, California's in, MTS hits the stun, but gets stunned in return, he's down! A double kill to Undercover Snail, and the smallest health bars I've seen in Wild Rift. But they're big enough for do to keep 2 members alive.
The snail is unkillable, Kangas. You can't take him down. All of this healing is way too much to bear. Sentinels get completely wiped, and they have to scramble to get back onto the Rift unless they want to lose out on this Drake. They do so now. They have Corki package. They don't cancel the recall, so they can't get any of these picks off. They just have to go right to the objective, try to use this timer while there's resets on the map for California. No smite is in range, but Redemption scouts it out.
Yeah, and look, Beginnings has ult. Like you said, Rest has package. There are tools for Sentinels to utilize here to try and actually take this dragon fight. And do identifying that they actually send Undercover Snail back towards the top half of the map. They might just give up this dragon. This is a precarious position for do to be in. But as their ultimates are also available again, we're going to get another one, Smacks. We get another 5v5 at the dragon here. Sentinels are trying to correct their lanes first.
Patience is going to be key to stall out the Corki package, and they've done so already. That ability is not available. Don't have to worry about that extra red carpet shredding their health bars, and fight for more mid lane priority as they sneak away this Drake. It's on a ward, nicely placed by Sentinels, so they know this is going on, and now they know exactly where everyone is.
Michael Udall doesn't actually commit to it. Dragon's taken, and the explosive cast does not land, knocking them in. It knocks them away. Sentinels do not find the fight. Get away. That was a really close play there from Beginnings, but again, the Gragas barrel, difficult to land optimally, does not find the right engage, and get another objective.
2 key ultimates used there for Sentinels as well, only 1 for We. Oh my words, MTS. When you're getting assassinated by the enemy AD carry, that does not feel great.
Come on, Lightnings, you flash for those.
Oh no!
He's got this. Underground Snail wins these. There's flash available for MTS and barrier, so actually will get away, mostly with the help of Michael Udall, but woo, that was that's pretty close. Sentinels, they're starting to sweat right now. Gotta wipe their thumbs on their pants real quick here. Make sure they're not slipping.
Sheesh had to flash out of that Cataclysm right there, Kangas. You gotta be very careful. The flash is such a key ability for Riven as well. You can't reposition your engage nearly as well without it. You're very mobile, but you don't have that surprise factor anymore, so very large cooldown there. Nice dodge from Beginnings.
Yeah, just a sidestep. Baron would be the next objective to fight over, Smacks, as the teams are posturing around that one next, going for their resets. 4 items completed now on Lightning T. 4 are close to 4 items completed here on Premonition, has actually opted for that Oblivion Orb once that heal cut, most likely against that Gragas, the Riven as well. But wow, I mean, it's going to come down to another fight. It's crazy to think about that, how close this game is, how it could go either way still.
You can tell that Sentinels have heartbreak in sight. They want to run in the complete opposite direction. They want to make these fights count. They want to get these picks off. This one might be an option as Premonition face checks. He's going for it as well, but you can't actually do anything. You're going to run away, even a flash away as a blue card is locked. Michael
Udall was the target there, decides to back away. MTS, you actually can take this 1v1. I think you have to if you're MTS. You know that the rest of do are on the top side of the map. I want to see MTS get aggressive. This is the point of the Fiora pick. Win the side lane. No one can outduel you if you execute correctly. This might just be a confidence blow from MTS if you're not actually just getting aggressive on Undercover Snail here.
Yeah, and Undercover Snail is the one that starts it off, too. You can see that he has the upper hand. He has the high ground in this 1v1. Oh, it's that confidence, exactly like you're saying here, Kangas, is on the other side. Beginnings is at half HP already.
Oh, no. Engaged on. Trying to be as tanky as possible on this Gragas, but the burst damage from Premonition, the execution is too much. That's a nice pick for do. Should get them this Baron. It'll be a 4v5 contest from Sentinels. I don't know if Rust has package yet. Went for the reset. Looks like he does. That package will need to be clutch here if Sentinels want to turn this play.
Beggs tried everything he possibly could to survive that play. He knew that it might be his last, but doesn't matter at all. So now you can still see everyone on Sentinels on the run, except for Sheesh.
Goes for the flank, looks for the engage. That's a big burst damage. Lightning T's already down. Sheesh now looking to reposition here. Get onto this Akali. Make sure Premonition can't get in, but look at the Darius diving through, and California wasn't even there the whole time. Now on a rampage. Do are on the cusp of making history. Qualifying through the last chance qualifiers. They just won a massive team fight against Sentinels. 2nd place in the 3rd majors. What a performance from do. I can't believe that they're about to knock out Sentinels and not give them a single win in their entire regional finals.
They absolutely are from this position. It's going to take a full-on miracle around this Elder for Sentinels. They don't have their mid laner. They don't have their dragon laner. They have to make do with just these 3 members that are on the Rift right now. MTS isn't even going for it, though. He's on the other side of the rift, trying to scout out to see if they're doing the Baron. But Do are going for the complete opposite objective. The Fiora's not going to be here.
Beginnings will need to look for a big engage, but already threw out the explosive cast before the team was there. Now goes for the body slam. They're just throwing themselves at Do, hoping that it works out.
And the steal!
And they get the bear, the dragon. The steal comes through for Sentinels. Massive play from Sheesh right there. While the rest of the team distracted, Do. But a killing spree for Premonition. I think that Do can still win the fight afterwards. Legendary for Snail. Now in a 1v2, Rest and Sheesh doing some damage, but Snail just won't die! He cannot die right now! Guardian Angel pops, but still a dead Corki will finally trade for Undercover Snail. But Do will get an inhibitor turret for this.
Sheesh got the steal, but they might just lose anyway. Kank is 4 members alive.
Wow.
The minions are coming. Can Sheesh
do it
pull
again?
off another one? He's gonna need to. He's gonna need to do something. It's 1 kill, but
Good
the
start.
Nexus is
Get in there.
falling.
Get in there,
It's
Sheesh.
heartbreak for Sentinels as Do keep their hopes alive.
GG, a 2-0 for Do. A massive upset here, qualifying to the last chance qualifiers and now sweeping through Sentinels in the lower bracket. What a performance. Game 1, pretty one-sided. Game 2, it was going back and forth, but in those high-pressure situations, these long games of Wild Rift, that's where you really test your mettle, and I would favor a team like Sentinels, but no, it is Do that comes in and actually clutches it out. Massive props to this roster of players.
Yeah. I can't believe that they've pulled this out. I mean, Kangas, the last taste in my mouth for Do was them frankly trolling it in the middle and they were going for so many wacky picks, the Singed mid, the Tryndamere mid, and then to come off of that, off of losing to Tribe, to break Sentinels so easily, so swiftly. Beautiful stuff from Do. Well-deserved victory. And I got to hear from you, Charver. What are you thinking after that one, man?
For me personally, I've got 2 points of note, one for each team. The first one was, and I know you gentlemen know this because I typed it in our Discord, just notes here, right? But I kind of called how this was going to go. I said after that first game, I said, and I quote, Nami could be huge here because the Sentinel lineup is very pick-oriented. Curious to see how they look in team fights because that's usually their strength, but Do has better engage here. And to me, that really was the story of both games. I love you, Sentinels. You know I love you, Michael. But this team with Premonition and with even some of the others, they've got great carries. Absolute great carries. And so if you don't have some crowd control to shut them down or get them kind of taken out of the fight, even for part of the time, if you can't lock down Premonition on these assassins, you're going to struggle. And so I hope that when they review this and they go back, they kind of identify that. I think that could have been an area where they could have improved. Now on the side of Do, yes, we kind of last saw them trolling a bit during the last chance qualifier, we'll be honest, right? They had locked it in, so they had fun. But let's not forget that the reason they qualified was they upset then favorite Johto. And then, yes, they came here and they lost to Tribe, but I got news for you. Everybody's lost to Tribe so far at this event. So that's not really a measuring stick for them. I think Do has a lot of raw talent here. Again, you can see Premonition here almost got a double kill. It ends up falling, but this was 2 players. He almost 1v2'd this, so they've got the talent. I really think that they can make a run here, and I'm really impressed with what they've done, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in a future round. But I don't know what else to say for Sentinels other than I'm sorry that you're out. I wanted to see more from you. You were trending in the right direction, and unfortunately, you are going to be going home. This is a double elimination event, and that was it. So congratulations to Do. Heartbreak for Sentinels. I hope that they bounce back. I hope that they keep this roster intact and they continue to build on it because they do have a lot of promise. But that's what stood out to me for both teams.
Man, it's so emotional seeing our first team drop, but I mean, the 5 of us on the broadcast are going to have to get used to this. We're going to see this happen 5 times today, so we better get our tears out now, man. This is This is already so ruthless, but that's just how the championship's gonna work, man. It's do or die from here on out. And I mean, with this next series as well, I can't wait to see who else is gonna move on.
And this is now going to be do against Enemy in the next round, in
Yeah.
the lower round too. Enemy's going to be watching this series like, what just happened? Like, how do we deal with his team in pick ban? How do we deal with them on the Rift? What do we do when we get 2-0 and get knocked out early? I mean, I don't know. I might be a do fan now at this point.
Well, that is going to be coming up in the next round. However, we're going to be taking a short break, and when we come back, we're going to see the other lower bracket round 1 match, which is Grilled Cheese taking on Chonk Chortle. These are also 2 up-and-coming teams. We're going to have to say goodbye to one of them. So after this break, we're going to find out which it is. Don't go anywhere.